All right, good morning, guys. So I'm gonna have to do a video this morning instead of my usual live. Um, the connection out here was not cooperating this morning, so I did want to share with you about speaking from the heart when it comes to praying, and a beautiful example of doing just that is a woman uh, who was named Hannah. She was uh, married to a man named Elkanah who had another wife that was Penina. And Penina had many children for Elkanah, where Hannah didn't have any. She was barren. And Penina was not a very nice woman to her. She ridiculed her, she made fun of her. And so Hannah desperately wanted a child, just to have one child. That's all she wanted. Um, she was so sad and down that she wouldn't even eat or drink. And Elkanah treated her just as good, if not better, than the one who was giving him children. He loved Hannah, and and asked her, why she was weeping. Well, after that particular meal and that particular discussion, Hannah went to the temple to pray to the Lord, and she prayed. And so, what I'm going to share from you is the verse that describes her attitude and how she prayed. And it's in 1 Samuel uh, chapter 1, verse 12. Now it came about as she continued praying before the Lord that Eli was watching her mouth. As for Hannah, she was speaking in her heart. Only her lips were moving, but her voice was not heard. So Eli thought she was drunk. So, of course, Hannah wasn't drunk at all. Of course, even though Eli thought she was at first. Um, but she later, he of course kind of chastised her, and she says, "Oh no, I'm not drunk." And without telling Eli what she prayed about, and Eli didn't ask her what she prayed about. Eli simply, you know, told her to go in peace, and that may the God of Israel grant your petition that you have asked of him. So once Eli knew and understood that she was praying to God earnestly and she wasn't drunk, Eli was like, granted her to go in peace, and he requested of the Lord that whatever she prayed for, he would grant her. And of course, God did. But uh, when you're praying from the heart, you're giving total faith to the Lord. You're wavering without a doubt. I mean, she was humble with the Lord, and she promised the Lord that if he would grant her a child, that her child will be dedicated to the Lord for all his life. And so, to paraphrase what happens, um, she went home, had relations with Elkanah, and she conceived a son. And part of her prayer was that she had promised that her child would be dedicated to the Lord for all his life. So she bore a son, and she had him up until the time that she weaned him off her. And then at that time when she weaned him, she did as she promised and dedicated her son to the Lord. And her son happened to be Samuel, who was a great prophet and judge of Israel that was around for Saul and for King David. He is probably one of the greater of the prophets that was alive in the Old Testament. But a good question is, if Hannah hadn't asked for him in faith and dedicated his life for God's service in faith, would she have ever gotten Samuel? My guess would be no. But because she was sincere and praying from the heart, from her heart, in total faith that he could give her a son that she had asked him for, she got Samuel. So if you're praying for something, you don't have to be vocal so everybody can hear, for one, because it's a conversation between you and God. But you must have faith in your prayer in order for your prayer request to happen. Absolute faith without doubt. And that is something very hard to do, because Satan likes to work his little magic in there, his little schemes on us to cause just even a mustard seed of doubt, And sometimes that's what keeps us from getting what we're asking for from God. It's because we are not truly believing that he can do what we're asking him to do. Hannah, she didn't. She knew that God would give her a son, a child. And she told God, you give this to me, he will be dedicated to you for his whole life. And that's exactly what happened. So anyways, love you guys. You have a blessed day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.